very lucky in Wellington to have such a great team from in the city, but also the volunteer leadership and the elected leadership, headed by Darrell Bowen. I've been here 4 years now, and I'm amazed at how much has been achieved, and most of it is due to the leadership of the council, especially to Darrell. He's been a Wellington resident here and a local businessman for over 26 years. He's a graduate of the Southern Illinois University with a bachelor's degree in business administration, and he's currently president and owner of Creative Marketing Products located here in Wellington. He's also been very involved in various community efforts over the years. He's a past president of the Wellington Chamber of Commerce. He served on numerous community advisory boards, committees over the years. He was elected mayor in March 2008, again in March 2010, and hopefully again in March, this coming March. He was recently appointed to serve on the board of directors of the Florida League of Mayors in recognition of the outstanding job he's done here in Wellington. So I'd like to introduce our Mayor, Darrell Bowen.
First thing I'd like to do is I'd like to say to all of our Jewish friends and neighbors, Happy New Year, and I apologize profusely for allowing this event to happen today. We did it very innocently. We had, when we changed it from yesterday because I had a scheduling conflict, Michaela and I, neither one had any idea that today was the Jewish New Year. So I am truly sorry that we allowed that to happen, and I can assure you that you're going to get a DVD because we have Steve here filming it for us this morning. So you'll be able to see what I say. Anyway, I want to thank you for having me here. I mean, it's really an honor that you all invite me back every year to do this. And how can I top last year's? It's always a challenge. But then when I start looking at all the material the staff gives me, I mean, there's so many accomplishments and so many things that we've done in a 12-month period that I can't even include them all. So, and that's attributable to our staff. It's not really me. The staff has to be the ones that really get the things done. And I know that you all, coming here, you all want to hear about economic development, you want to hear about the business community, because that's what you're interested in, and I am too. I'm very interested in that. But before we're in a position to start attracting businesses here, there were a number of things that we needed to address, and there are a number of things that have to be in place in order to be attractive for a business to come to your community and relocate their employees. I mean, some of the things that we have to do are, we have to have safe neighborhoods. We have to have good government. We have to have a responsive and a responsible government. Wait a minute. I'm getting a little confused here. I'm behind myself. I got these notes here that don't always follow the way I'm talking. We have to have good schools. Higher education is extremely important, and we have to have a good cultural program and leisure services, because all the people coming here expect those things. And I can tell you that we have worked very diligently throughout the village to make all of those things better. And I'm not going to say they were bad when we started, because they weren't, but we can always make things better, and I believe that we have. Regarding our government, I mean, we have a balanced budget. It's about $74 million. We just passed it on Monday night. $74 million budget, which is down from about $119 million budget that was in place when I took office 4 years ago, nearly 4 years ago. That's down over 40%. But we've done that. We've done that without really cutting essential services. Where we've had to make some service changes, it's in areas that least affect the most people. So we've been able to do it in a very controlled way. So I'm proud of the budget that we have, and I think it's a very good budget. We've made the commitment to invest in the community ourselves. If we expect somebody to come here and invest $100 million, like Mr. Bellissimo's done, we need to show that we're serious too, and we've done that. We built the new City Hall complex. You've seen Forest Hill Boulevard. You've seen a number of things that we've done, and we're not finished. This building, hopefully by the next time I do this address, the new building probably won't be finished, but there'll be a new building going up on this site. So we are committed to doing some investing ourselves. We also are committed to working very closely with the private sector, and we've done that in many cases. We're doing that with the Boys and Girls Club to get a new facility there that will be a real asset to the community. We've done that with the Patriot Memorial with private donations and some government money. We're doing it in the Medical Arts District. In the Medical Arts District, I talked a little bit about last year, so I'm not going to go back into the details of that, but the Medical Arts District, we've committed nearly $25 million to finance the infrastructure so we can make that happen, so we can bring some employers here. And believe me, it's extremely important and helpful. At the state level, they have praised us immensely in the last few weeks because of our commitment to making that happen. Some of the other things that we've done as we went through the budget, we have made sure that we did not shortchange our maintenance programs for roads, canals, our water plant, our water treatment facilities. You look in the paper and you see what some municipalities are doing in cutting those. They're going to pay it back in double and triple costs when they have to replace things much earlier. So we've made a very strong commitment to not allowing ourselves to find us in a position 5 years from now or 10 years from now that we're really in trouble because we don't have enough money to do the things that need to be done. So our long-term planning has been extremely important. We have most of our 2060 folks here, certainly the leaders in the 2060 50-year plan that we've been working on. We also, just within the last month or so, have entered in an agreement with FAU to develop a living lab, which is going to work with us over a 3-year period to refine that 2060 plan and provide us with the information that we need to make the right decisions. And you're going to hear about some of that information. We already, in the very short time we've been working with them, have some information from them that is extremely helpful in the planning that we're going to be doing. And there's a whole other array of things that we've done at the village. Open Wellington, you probably know a little bit about that. I mean, almost everything you want to know about us is on the website. You can go on our website and you can see what bills we paid yesterday if you want to do that. You would have to be extremely bored to do that, but if you want to, you're welcome to. We have a residence academy that's about to start again. It'll be a group of local residents that will have an opportunity to learn about how our local government works and the ins and outs of our government. You may have seen Wellington in the Know. It's a monthly or every 6 weeks. We do a new video featuring a specific part of the community, whether it's safety, parks and rec, or whatever it may be. And that video then is shown on our television station. It's shown before the movies at the Amphitheater, and it's distributed to other places. What I'm trying to tell you is we are trying to make sure everybody knows as much as they can know about the village and what is available and what we can and can't do. And no matter how hard we try, we'll never get it all out there. Just before I came up here, I talked to one of our members over here who said to me, he said, we have a house lady that's 71 years old. She doesn't have a car, and on her day off, she can't get anywhere. And I said, my goodness, we've got a senior transportation voucher program, and it's only going to cost her $5. She can go anywhere she wants. So I don't know how we can disseminate it any better, but we try. And hopefully here today, at least now he knows that, and he'll be able to send his housekeeper to the mall on her day off. Anyway, on to the next topic, safety and security. Safety and security is extremely important. Wellington has, the lowest crime rate in the county, one of the highest rates of solving crimes, and it's easy to say, we don't have a problem. But let me tell you what. If you know anything about team sports, you know you're only as good as your weakest link. So if you've got a weak neighborhood, we're only as good as that weak neighborhood. So we had to solve the problems in some of those neighborhoods where we have the most difficulty. And we've gone about doing that. We've added lighting in those communities. We've helped beautify by doing cluster mailboxes and some other things to make the communities nicer. We've closed some roads. Goldenrod has been closed now over in Sugar Pond, and we bought some land for a new park to help offset facilities so that those kids in those communities will have a place to play. We've increased our code enforcement, our police presence, and we started a new program this year called Landlord 411. And I won't spend a lot of time about that, but what it generally does, we've tried to bring all the landlords from those communities together. We've helped them start sharing information, because one of the things that we found is we had a turkey living over in White Pine, and finally the landlord got fed up and threw him out. All he did was move over to Sugar Pond. Well, that didn't help us one bit as a community, so we're now getting them to start sharing information, and identifying those people that are bad tenants and bad neighbors, and hopefully we'll weed them out. It also is helping them with some standardized leases, some standardized background checks, all kinds of things that we're trying to help them do a better job, and it'll improve their property values and it'll reduce the crime. I mean, the crime in those neighborhoods is down about 50% in the last year, so it is working, but we still have a ways to go with it. I don't think, I won't feel happy until every single person that lives in Wellington can go to bed at night and feel safe and secure. Schools and education. Most of you know how I feel about education. I'm rather passionate, especially about higher education. We have in Wellington, the best schools, K through 12, both private and public. The public schools are almost all A schools, and our private schools are excellent schools. I visit most of them regularly, and I think they're excellent. We've been a little weak in the higher education area, but I think there's some things that are happening that we will make that better too. Palm Beach State College is going to be located just outside our boundaries, and that will add a new dimension in higher education. We are going to have a medical school here. We really have a medical school here now, quite frankly, with a number of students, but they just don't have a physical presence yet, except with the students working over at Wellington Regional. Wellington Regional. We sincerely hope, that next year, LECON will build their first building in the Medical Arts District for the medical school students. So we're very confident that that's going to happen, and that's one of the first steps. We're also working with Palm Beach Atlantic to expand their offerings out here. You may or may not know they have a small campus just north of the Medical Arts District, and it is going to be expanded. They want to work with us in conjunction with the medical arts to bring programs here that will supply the employees that we're going to need as things develop there. And I mentioned the FAU Living Lab. Having that relationship with FAU can only be good and hopefully lead to even bigger and better things. So I'm happy to see the progress, and I'm going to continue to fight to bring higher education here. We have to have a way to supply the employees and provide continuing education, especially when we get into high-tech employment. In the cultural and leisure services, it's pretty easy to talk about our parks and rec because we've always had the best facilities and the best programs of anybody in the state of Florida. But there are still things that we can do, and we are doing. With the leadership of Howard Traeger, we've added a whole array of new programs for seniors, one of which is the Voucher program. And as this community center is torn down and rebuilt, it's going to be designed to even host more programs, not only for seniors, but also for families, because there are a lot of programs done in this building besides just seniors and besides just events like this. And with the new building, we'll be able to do even more. Our amphitheater has allowed us to expand our cultural offerings tremendously. We've had all kinds of different things there, and I'm absolutely convinced that under Joe Piccincelli's leadership, it will get even better. Our Art in Public Places program continues to flourish, and I would be really remiss if I didn't mention the Palm Beach International Equestrian Center and International Polo, because they have become a true local venue for people to spend their leisure time. And if you haven't done it, do it, because I mean they're great, they're fun events, and it's true assets to our community. And I should also mention the great charity challenge that they do. I mean, not only are they great assets to the community from the standpoint of culture and leisure, I mean, they're great neighbors to our community. I mean, they donated over $1 million to local charities last year without us asking. I don't think any of us even asked, and they did it. So they're a great part of the community. Now, anyway, once we get beyond all this, then we can go out, and we are, trying to recruit businesses that will locate here and create jobs. And I can tell you without hesitation, we are working very hard to do that. We have, between staff and me, we have made many trips to Tallahassee, Orlando, Daytona, everywhere this year. And we have finally reached the point that we've got to the people, the right people. We've had meetings now with the new director of the Office of Economic Opportunity that the governor set up. That office doesn't even become real, I don't think, until tomorrow. We've been there. We are first in line. We've met with the folks at Enterprise Florida. They are on board to help us with financing the businesses that we're able to bring here. I gotta have a little drink, I'm sorry. This cold just won't go away. I don't know why. Would you like me to quit? Anyway, the reason, and I don't have to tell you because I'm preaching to the choir, but the reason that we need to create jobs, you all know, is that in the last few years, we have lost numerous jobs here because we were so dependent. I mean, there was a time when you lived on any street in Wellington, 3 or 4 of your neighbors were somehow connected to the real estate, development, or construction business. Those very homes are the ones that are now sitting empty because they've been foreclosed on because the jobs went away. We have to refill those homes. Somehow we have to refill those homes for us to be a viable community. We have a number of opportunities to do that. And I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that we're doing, but I also need to tell you that the FAU Living Lab, one of the things that we know how many foreclosures we have roughly and all that, but we had never really looked at exactly who they were. And it's very clear now from some of the preliminary numbers that it's the 35 to 50-year-old families is who it is. It's the very backbone of our community. That's been the backbone of this community since day one, families, and we're losing them. We're losing them right and left. We have to create jobs. There is no question about it. Anyway, we're working on, and I'm going to talk a little bit about a specific project because, and I can't talk a lot about it, but I can talk a little bit about it because I know you're all interested, and that's the reason I couldn't be here yesterday. We have a project that we think is going to happen. We're hoping there will be an announcement sometime before the end of the year, we're hoping. We've been assured the state is on board. We are confident that this project can create 800 jobs. 800 jobs is a lot of jobs, I have to tell you. And the jobs for this particular center itself, 120, 130 jobs, average over $100,000 a year. So there's some good jobs, real good jobs in this mix. And we're going to continue. I'm sure that with Francine and the 2060 staff, sometimes they think I'm crazy. I know they think I'm crazy sometimes because they're not absolutely confident that we're really going to be able to do what we do. Well, they're telling me they believe in me now, but I bet behind closed doors when I'm not there, they say, that guy's nuts. But anyway, I can assure you that we're all on the same page and we're going to battle this to the end. And I think that we will prevail and we're going to have something great to report back to you in a very short time. Okay, you took my last page. There it is. Okay. In addition to the prospect that I just mentioned a little bit, we're confident of the medical school. We're confident that there are going to be some other medical office buildings. I mean, we have some folks right here that are going to build it. And if they don't, I'm going to be right behind them, continuing to kick them in the rear. So they're going to put up an office building. I hope that we see that coming out of the ground real soon. So there are going to be a whole lot of things happening over in the Medical Arts District in a short period of time. Now, while I've spent a great deal of time talking about all these things, and in some ways probably painting a gloomy picture of how we need to fill these empty homes and all that, I have to tell you that I am personally more optimistic than I've ever been about our community. I'm absolutely sure that we're on the right track, and I'm sure that things are going to happen. And I also kind of missed a little bit here because in addition to the Medical Arts District, I shouldn't ignore because Mark's not going to quit expanding either. He's not going to quit expanding. And he's probably getting tired of me saying every time I see him, when are we going to bring some of those manufacturers and distributors that supply things to the horse folks down here and put their offices here? He'll admit it. I say it every time, don't I? So we're going to do that. We're going to do that too. So we're not going to just limit it to the Medical Arts District, but we will, all of us working together will be able to accomplish it. We'll be able to bring jobs to the community. It'll make all of our businesses better and stronger. It'll make our community better and stronger. And it'll make me happy. So, anyway, I ask you to get involved however you can to help us in these endeavors. Thank you. Thank you all very much.